and then working with Dojeon as well. Um, he's just such a sweet man. Yeah, just such a sweetheart.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Sizzle. I'm host Jean, and we are here with a very special guest. We have a resident actor, John.
Hi. Well, thank you so much for having me. Kind of by chance, in a way. Ended up in Korea about 6.5 years ago.
Where are you from?
From Canada.
Okay.
Yep, I was living in Vancouver at that time, and I had realized I had kind of no strings holding me in Canada at that time, and I thought, well, if I want to travel, then now is the time. And then ended up in Korea teaching English at first. My very first gig actually was a movie. Yeah, it's a character. The English title was Samjin Group English Class, or Samjin Company English Class.
Okay.
The Korean title was Samjin Group Young Ban. Yeah, and again, just through luck, I guess, I went and I auditioned for that movie while I was a teacher, and the director said, "Okay, we just want you to be a really sleazy, horrible American," is what he said. And I was like, okay. And so I just put together something, and then he liked it.
Just threw us under the bus. Huh?
Yeah, so sorry about that. I mean, I'm your neighbor, Canadian, so we got the same people. Yeah, that's right. And that's what I did. I just played some stereotypes, and the director we had a meeting, and he pulls up the monitor and he's looking at it and he goes, "This is good. It's good." And then, some people would be really happy with this. I was terrified because it was my first time in front of, on set at all. And he just rips up the script. So that big scene that's supposed to have, the introduction sleazy scene, just throws the script away and he goes, "Just do this." And I'm sitting there and I was like, yeah, I can do this. Okay.
Complete improv.
Yeah, that was the very first scene. And then I had a choice to either keep teaching, but then I'd have to drop the movie, or switch from teaching to entertainment and then keep the movie. And I was getting a little restless with teaching, so I decided to make the transition. It was wonderful, actually. Yeah. It still makes me all warm and tingly inside when I think about it. Again, just very lucky to have that opportunity. Very lucky to work with such a kind director. The first couple days that we shot together, she would give me some pointers here and there, but then we had a conversation on the side about what we wanted Andrea to be. And I told her that basically I was just holding an image of a puppy in my head. When a puppy just comes and greets you and they're just big energy all the time. And that's what I went with, and she liked it. And then from the second day onward, she just trusted me, which is amazing, right? If you're in any acting situation, you have your director that just gives you that freedom and trusts you and lets you go. And then from time to time, she would say, "Hey, let's try this." Great. So the working relationship with her was amazing. And then the writing was fantastic. That's what makes Andrea so funny, is, especially the introduction scene for him, showing that he's learning a lot of Korean through Google Translate, right? And so
Many of our
exactly, like many of the foreigners that come here using Papago, Google Translate.
How many? I don't know this word.
Exactly. Yeah.
5 times until I learn.
And you're just sitting there in the restaurant when you're trying to translate everything. Yeah. So it's that the realism of that was wonderful to play with. And then she did a fantastic job of keeping him as a real character. something believable. And then working with pretty much all my scenes were with the two main actors. She has such a warm and friendly glow about her, and just a very welcoming presence. And we would, in between cuts and stuff, we'd have little dance parties, and it was just really, really easy to work with her. She's been in the industry for so long, has so much experience, that it was just a cinch for her. And then to work with somebody who's so senior to you in the field, she's just a great mentor. And then working with Dojeon as well, he's just such a sweet man. Yeah, just such a sweetheart. Fortunately, this team was actually very laid back.
Really?
Yeah, they were pretty relaxed. They were very organized. And yes, with dramas like commercials, you shoot quick. So you don't get many opportunities.
Yeah.
And the director makes that pretty clear. She's like, you've got 2 chances, and then we're moving on. So make one of them good. So that could be a little bit stressful too. But the crew knew what they were doing, worked really well together. Both the A crew, B crew, because it alternate days. And they were also very welcoming, very friendly. Everyone would say hi to me. And going back to that very first job I had, when I was watching the 3 main actors from there, Goa-sung was one of the main actors for that film. And just watching her was fantastic to see how she interacts with the crews. And she always comes on set, very professional. She says hello to everybody. She goes off to the side, makes sure that one person who didn't even see her, who's wrapping up a cable, she says hello to them. And then when she says goodbye, she does the same thing. And so I try to emulate that, because that's what I saw in the beginning. And the crew did the same thing to me. I have to use my kind of broken, remedial Korean, when I communicate. At this point, my understanding of Korean is pretty good. At least it's a lot better than my spoken. Reading and writing are okay. But yeah, when you're on set, Dojeon and Lamiran definitely made my brain work, as they'd be chatting back and forth, and you're standing there watching them, and you're trying to catch as many words as you can. Yeah, sort of chime in when you can. Actually, there was a funny story with the director. She was giving me some instructions, and generally on set, the set language I understand a lot of, and so she's talking away. But then if she starts talking a little bit longer, then you get lost. I get lost. So I asked my manager to come over, and she translates for me, and I said, oh, okay. And then I made a comment. I said, do you know the word umchi?
Umchi?
Yeah, umchi.
I know nunchi.
Nunchi, okay. So in this case, umchi or like momchi, like chi.
Momchi.
Yeah, I mean, you can't dance at all. You can't sing at all, anything like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So I made the comment, and I said, I was like, I am umchi. And the director turns to my manager, and she says, how is it that he doesn't know some basic words, but he knows umchi? And everyone just starts laughing on set, and then walks away. And I was like, yeah, it's just through informal study. Always privileged, yeah, always lucky. Our community, the foreign acting community, is very small here. Same with the modeling community, same with the voice acting community.
We all know each other.
Yeah, we all know each other, and it can be some stiff competition to try to get those few roles that are there, right? So yeah, you always feel pretty lucky when you get one of them. I have been lucky enough to be cast in a number of things. By far, The Good Bad Mother has been the biggest one. Typically, the foreigners are brought on for maybe a scene or two, something to sort of move a plot along, and then you just sort of disappear. So to have a consistent character through a drama like that is very rare. No, I haven't been recognized before.
Yet.
Yeah, yet. Sure, yet. What's the expression? Like a charlatan when an imposter? That's kind of how. That's kind of. Yeah, that's how I feel. Imposter syndrome.
Wow.
When you say, that you've been in several things too. It's more like you're an actor. Yeah, I feel like an imposter in that sense. I don't know if that'll ever go away. Yes, but not like the paralysis kind of starstruck. Yeah. And actually, I think it's kind of a good thing. So I'm familiar, obviously, with Korean entertainment and the actors, and of course, you could quick search, right? Neighbor search. Who am I working with? Yeah. And so having that information is good, but because I'm not from Korea, so there's still that mental distance, which is a good thing because then I don't really freeze. Versus, yeah, if I were in Canada or America and then it's like, oh, I'm working with Brad Pitt, right? Then I'd be like, hey, Brad, like voice crack kind of, yeah. When we're on set once for Ghost Doctor, and B, you know B?
Yes.
Yeah, he's the main male actor for that show, and I was pumped to meet him. I just wanted to be like, yo, B, and like give him a big hug. Yeah. But I know in my mind, I'm all like, yo, I got swag and have some fun with him. But really, I was getting kind of jittery, and I think I would have been like, oh, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, kind of like you had. So, in a way, I'm kind of glad that didn't happen. But yeah. I would like to continue learning and practicing in Korea, for sure. Training, practicing everything, gaining as much knowledge as I can. For how long? I don't know. Especially as foreigners, our time here has this flow, right? And then you get used up enough, and then they want the fresh face. And I think that actually the fresh face applies to a lot of aspects of entertainment in general. So I hope I'll be around for a little while longer, but then I do see myself and trying to transition back to Canada to continue North America. And then, I mean, yeah, if you can transition into Hollywood, get into some big blockbuster kind of film, that would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be very cool.
I think
As a freelancer, we really don't know what's going to come our way. There's talk of another character role in a drama at the end of the year, but that's pretty far out. Yeah, I don't know if that's actually going to stick or not. For now, we've been filming for a couple other dramas, just little appearances here and there. Did a cool action sequence a couple weeks ago. Yeah, so that'll come out sometime. Thank you so much. Jade, it was lovely to talk with you today. And thank you for hosting me today on your channel. So,
okay, we'll see you next time.
sounds good.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.